So I was talking to a friend of mine about the state of men in today's world, and the topic of sex came up. And he told me he thought it was really strange that Logan Paul's podcast Impulsive is sponsored by a company called Blue Chew. Now what Blue Chew is it's similar to Viagra or Roman or one of these other companies. It's a company for guys who have erectile dysfunction. Now, it's a chewable tablet that you take, and it gets sent directly to your door. It's one of those discreet kind of things. Now, I would hazard a guess that Logan Paul's primary audience is guys who are probably between like 16 and 28 years old, something like that. That's the prime of your sexual life. And having spent a little bit of time in business, I do know that if a company is going to pay to advertise, they have a target market in mind, which means that Blue Chew has reason to believe that 16 to 28-year-old guys are going to buy their product, which means they have some back-end market research to suggest that. So that's a strange thing, really. Why would guys in the prime of their sexual lives need help with getting an erection? Well, unfortunately, they actually do. Studies have come out to conclude that guys in their 20s are experiencing erectile dysfunction at a rate of 33%. Which is significantly higher than the typical number of 2%. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to cover what some of the big causes are in this massive rise in erectile dysfunction in young men who shouldn't be experiencing that. We're going to go over the causes so that you can infer the solutions and fix your problem if you're suffering from it. Now, before we do that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and bell icon and throw me a like so I can reach more guys through the algorithm. Now, let's get into it with the biggest cause of this issue. So the biggest cause of this massive spike in ED issues for guys in their 20s has to do with internet porn. And a lot of you are already going to know this because you've watched my channel, but basically what internet porn does is rewire your brain and its attraction templates, what it's attracted to and in what way. And the problem with this especially is that most guys are now getting access to this at around 12 years old. So that means you've got a whole nother decade before your brain has completely formed to begin with, and you're already rewiring it. So this makes for a psychological problem, not a physical problem. And that's really important to understand because a lot of guys are going to think they have a physical issue with sex, and so they're going to go to a company like a Blue Chew or Viagra or whatever it is and try and get this issue dealt with for themselves, only to find that maybe the product can get them up if they're struggling with that, but they're going to run into a variety of other issues when it comes to sex because of this, because their brain is still not set up to be attracted to this. A lot of guys in this situation struggle with reaching orgasm and things like that, or the experience is completely voyeurized. They can't get comfortable with the experience. It's unpleasant rather than pleasant. So you'll understand, like, the human body is not broken. It's not some sudden generation of men whose human bodies are broken. What it is we have done something that has seriously damaged our psychology, our brain, and its ability to find certain things attractive. Now, if you're really concerned right now, it's okay, because I can tell you that I used to suffer from this issue and I've overcome it. All you need is really, it's going to take time, and you have to be willing to abstain from internet porn for that time so that your brain can heal. The younger you do this, the better, because the quicker you will be able to get out of that rut. The next cause of this issue is significantly less likely than porn-induced ED, but it is something that can happen, and that is low testosterone. Testosterone is directly related to sex drive and function, okay? And in our modern world, as I mentioned in my previous video, our environment and our lifestyles are not conducive to high testosterone. In fact, testosterone levels are declining 1% annually on average in every age group. So that means in 2010, a guy had 10% more testosterone on average than a guy at the same age in 2020. So you see what I'm saying? So if you do feel like you live a lifestyle that is unhealthy, that could be contributing to low testosterone, this is something to consider, but ultimately it is significantly less likely than the aforementioned porn-induced ED. Now, the last cause that I want to cover here are the cultural factors surrounding sex and porn and all these different things. These affect us in a few key ways. One of the biggest ways is the fact that sex in our society is so prevalent. It's out there everywhere. You're constantly bombarded by it, yet simultaneously, we have no idea how to do it. Start looking at animals. Go look at animal mating rituals. You'll see that there's always one of the two partners that has to do some sort of display to attract the other one. A few examples of this, I'm sure you've seen birds who do these dramatic displays. That's what a peacock's feathers are. They're designed to attract the female peacock. Lobsters also do this. I mean, this is literally like every species basically does this. So lobsters have been around for 350 million years. What happens in the lobster world is the dominant lobster, he'll be hiding out in his little burrow underwater or whatever, and the female lobsters will come up to where he's hidden out, and they'll start spraying all these scents at him. And he'll sit there and chill for a while, and eventually one of them will catch his attention and he'll go fertilize and impregnate that female lobster. So you'll see literally like every animal has this courtship, seductive kind of process to attract the other one's attention. Yet what do? We used to do this, but now pretty much what we do is like hit somebody up on the phone, like on a dating app, and 15 minutes later we're at some stranger's house and we can't even remember their name. We simply don't seduce anymore, and men and women both really suck at this. This is not just a man's thing. A lot of times men tend to put this blame on themselves, but honestly, women spend a lot of their time with their heads stuck in their phone. They don't know what the heck they're doing either. Now, when it comes to guys, I can't speak strictly for women, but when it comes to guys, there's a lot of shame around the issue of sex in our society that keeps us from expressing our sexuality. We feel uncomfortable as if we're using a woman if we show sexual interest in her, so we never get to that state of seduction. We want to stay away from it. So basically what a lot of sex ends up being is unrealistic expectations created by a society that acts like everyone is having incredible sex. And a lot of times we've also seen internet porn, which makes us think it's supposed to be a certain way, combined with the inability to be seductive and create an attractive, like seductive situation. Also combined with the fact that we've usually got repressed issues around sexuality that make it uncomfortable for us to even express this. And then throw in the fact that half the time we're doing it with somebody that we barely even know at all. And it's like, dude, of course you're gonna have sexual issues. Like, this is not how this normally goes, okay? Like, you don't need Blue Chew, you need to look in the mirror. I mean, honestly, even think about Netflix and chill. This is something I was thinking about. Netflix and chill is almost like a version of pornography in a sense. And what I mean by that is, okay, you show up usually to somebody, again, who you don't know's house, or they come to your house, you barely know each other, and there's this sense of almost anxiety, but like both parties know what you're here to do, right? Like nobody's kidding. Like if you invite someone over to watch a movie at midnight on a weekend, right? Like of course, like we all know what's going down here, but we put the movie on anyways, and you're sitting here with the stranger, and you slowly build this like attempt to get sexual, and it's like the whole time you can focus your attention on the screen rather than on the physical experience and being present with the other person. So it allows for you to put your anxiety away. You don't have to pay attention to it. It's an escape from the anxiety and the emotional issues and the psychological issues you have with sex, so that you can basically stay voyeurized from the experience. And voyeurized basically means you're out of body with the experience. You're not actually present within your own moment. It's just kind of happening on the side. And if you'll notice, a lot of times with pornography, this is what people are doing. They can stay detached from the actual experience. And again, a lot of people have issues with sex in this sense, is they can't get present with the experience because of emotional baggage. And if you are somebody who you feel like that is an issue, and in fact it's significantly more common than you would think, one thing you can do is try to be present in sexual experiences simply with yourself. That means no porn, no other partner, and no visualizing. And you have to stay present with yourself in a sexual experience. And what you'll realize very quickly is that you do probably have some psychological issues around this that make you want to distract yourself from what you're doing. You'll feel like this is wrong, or you'll feel anxiety, whatever it is. And then what you need to do is sit with those emotions and let them go. And you'll find a sense of freedom in doing this. But to sum this video up, you got three really big causes here that I believe are the main causes of the fact that porn-induced ED in 20-year-olds has gone from 2% to 33%. Porn-induced ED is the biggest one. Low testosterone is another one, and cultural factors are putting significant pressure on people, which is making them think they have sexual issues when they really don't. It's just like, this is not how sex is supposed to go. Plus, you've got massive pressure on yourself. So you don't have a problem. The situation you're putting yourself in is the problem. And if you got something out of this video, go ahead and give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and you want to check out this video right here. It goes wrong really well with this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.